The winter of 1887 gripped the Allegheny Highlands in a relentless freeze. Snow buried West Virginia's peaks, and the wind's mournful howl never ceased. The cold seeped into every home, every bone. Game vanished, rivers froze, and hope dwindled. 5 seasoned trappers, desperate for survival, set out into the deep woods. Their families watched them disappear into the blizzard, never to return. Weeks passed, the snow kept falling, the wind's song grew crueler. The community mourned, assuming the men lost to the cold, buried beneath endless snow. But the mountain held a darker secret. The townsfolk tried to move on, rationing food, tending fires, clinging to survival. They didn't know the mountain would send one man back. He would not bring furs or food. He would bring a story colder than any winter wind. The mountains demanded respect, and sometimes a sacrifice. The missing men became legend, but the mountain was not finished. Soon, the valley would learn what true terror was. The story was only beginning. As spring's first thaw touched the land, a gaunt figure staggered into town. It was Elias Vance, one of the lost trappers, now a ghost of himself. His eyes were wild, his hair shock-white, his body ravaged by hunger and fear. The townsfolk wrapped him in blankets, but he only shivered, silent and haunted. Days passed before Elias could speak. When he did, his voice was a broken whisper. He spoke of endless cold, starvation, and the men's desperate struggle. Their supplies vanished. The woods offered nothing. But it wasn't just hunger that haunted them. Elias described a voice on the wind. At first a whisper, then words. The wind promised relief, strength, survival, if only they would eat. The men grew paranoid, hope shattered by the voice's insidious promise. The wind's whispers became a torment, eroding their sanity. Elias's tale was not of blizzards or beasts, but of something far worse. The wind offered a way out at a terrible price. All they had to do was eat, and someone listened. Elias described the voice, cold, persuasive, promising a feast if they broke the ultimate taboo. The men tried to resist, but hunger twisted their minds. Silas, one of the trappers, began to listen. He stared into the fire, lips moving, eyes distant. Fear grew among the group. One night, Silas snapped. He attacked a weakened companion, driven by the voice's command. The camp erupted in horror. The taboo was broken. As Silas ate, he changed. His eyes blackened, limbs stretched, his body twisted into something monstrous. He dropped to all fours, moving with unnatural speed. Silas was gone. A creature remained. The monster gave one last look, then vanished into the frozen woods. The survivors were left with terror and the wind's triumphant howl. Elias had witnessed the birth of a legend. The mountain's secret was now a nightmare made flesh. The old-timers listened, dread growing in their hearts. They'd heard tales of a spirit born of hunger and cold, the Wendigo. A name whispered in fear, a legend of cannibalism and transformation. Anyone who ate human flesh in the wild risked becoming this monster. The Wendigo was gaunt, impossibly fast, cursed with endless hunger. Elias's story matched every ancient warning, but the Wendigo belonged to the far north. Not these mountains. Now it had come south. The wind's whisper was the Wendigo's call, seeking its next victim. Fear settled over the town, deeper than any frost. Every gust, every shadow became a threat. The legend of the hunter who heard the hunger was born, a warning for every winter to come. The Wendigo waits, hunger unending in the heart of the mountains. As the years passed, the legend of the Wendigo haunted every winter night. Some say its shadow still prowls the frozen woods, waiting for hunger to open the door. So when the wind howls and the cold bites deep, remember Elias's tale. Respect the mountain, fear the hunger. For the Wendigo is always listening, and it is never, ever satisfied.